Hey again. All right, so today we're going to cover mitosis versus meiosis, and this is a very abbreviated, kind of easy version of mitosis versus meiosis. I always find that some of my students have a really good background in biology, and then some do not. So this is the what you need to know. If you're going to go into biology as maybe a researcher or medical school or vet school, you probably need to do a little more studying about this. There's plenty of information in your textbook. Google it. There's a bajillion websites, just many ways and videos to learn more and more about mitosis and meiosis. Again, this is the what you need to know. Okay? All right. So when we think about a cell and we think about DNA, we know that you have a cell, you have your nucleus, that's where your DNA is. Well, there's two other terms you need to understand when it comes to DNA, and that's chromosomes and genes. Really, all chromosomes are really large complexes of DNA wrapped around a protein. And so we store our DNA in kind of these certain shapes. So this is an example of a chromosome, this X-shaped structure. So you have 23 pair of chromosomes, so 46 total, in your nucleus. All right. On those chromosomes, the chromosomes divided into genes. So genes are the locations on the DNA that code for a particular protein. So remember when we did protein synthesis, you coded a particular part of the DNA and you turn that into protein. That's what the gene is. So the gene is the blueprint for the protein. The chromosome is the way we store the DNA inside the nucleus. Okay? So when you think about body cells, your somatic cells, that's all the cells in your body except for sex cells, your sperm and egg, they have 46 chromosomes. So 46 of these kind of X-shaped structures. And we say that you have a diploid number because you have two sets. So when you abbreviate diploid, we always write that as 2N, okay? Which means you have two sets of the 23 chromosomes. So you have 23 chromosomes, but they're doubled. So you have two sets of these 23. So 2 times 23 is 46. And the reason you have two sets is one's from mom, one's from dad. They're the homologous chromosomes. So if you think back to eye color, hair color, you've got the chromosome that has, maybe let's just say for brown eyes, and you have the gene for blue eyes, and these are on the same chromosome. So you're going to have a chromosome from your mom that has eye color and a chromosome from your dad that has eye color. Okay, so you have 23 pairs for a total of 46 chromosomes. Now in the sex cells, or your gametes, the things that make sperm, or the sperm and the egg, the gametes, they each only have 23 chromosomes. So they only have one set. So we say that's N, or haploid. And the reason they only have one set of the pair is so that you can take one from mom, one from dad, put them together, and now the embryo, the new baby, has 46 chromosomes. So the sperm and egg are only haploid. They have one set of chromosomes. All right? So what we're going to cover is mitosis and meiosis. That's how we get to have cells that either have 46 chromosomes or just 23. Okay? So the two terms are mitosis and meiosis, and some people say meiosis, but it's not. It's a German derivation, so you say meiosis. And mitosis is what happens in all your somatic cells. Okay? Okay. It also happens in sperm formation, but we'll not to confuse the issue right now. We'll talk about that later. Meiosis is how we make the egg and sperm. Okay, so this is for gametes. Okay, and this is for somatic cells. And so in a nutshell, you have a mother cell, and so I'm not saying mother as in the female mother or in the biologic mother. I'm just saying a cell, but we're just going to call it mom cell. So you have a cell, and the result is you get two identical cells. Okay, so let's say this is a bone cell, and it undergoes mitosis, and you get two bone cells that are just like it. So this means you're going to produce genetically identical cells. They're going to be 2N, Okay? This is what's going on all the time. This is how you repair and grow. That's not how you spell repair. Repair and grow. Okay? So bite your cheek. You got to make new cells. That's mitosis. Okay? And so like asexual reproduction. You're just dividing and making more cells. In meiosis, you take a mother cell. Again, don't get it confused with being mom and dad. Just a progenitor. Think about maybe a stem cell, a first cell. And you're going to get daughter cells that are genetically different. Okay? So you get genetically unique cells. So let's say this is going to become sperm. So this is going to be a spermatogonia, so a sperm stem cell. Well, through the process of meiosis, you wind up with 4. Over here you had 2, right? Over here you have 4 cells that are a little bit different than the original, and they only have 1 copy of the chromosome. They're going to be haploid. Okay? So this happens during your reproductive cycle. This is the formation of sperm and egg. So they're needed for sexual reproduction. So if you look at, see how these have 1, 2, and these only have 1 green and 1 red? You only have 1 set of the chromosome. All right? So this is from your textbook, and I realize it's kind of too small, but I want to kind of give you, again, what happens. So take your mother cell, again, and just, if you can replace the word stem cell, that helps you out, because I'm not talking about from a mom or dad. I'm just saying the original cell. In mitosis, literally what happens is you double the DNA and then split it, okay? So that your daughter cells look just like the original mother cell. So see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 2 purples and 2 green chromosomes. Here you have 2 purples and 2 greens, 2 purples and 2 greens. These are genetically identical to the mother cells. So you double the DNA and you split it once. Okay? In meiosis, you double it and split twice. That's literally the difference. Okay? Double the DNA, split it twice. So if you double the DNA and then you split it once and then you split it again, then you get cells with half the amount of genetic material. They become 1N. All right? So all these steps are listed in your textbook, so you can kind of read more about what's going on. I do not want you to get all caught up too much in what's going on in prophase 1 and metaphase 1 and all those different steps. That's kind of beyond the scope of this course. But again, the basic difference between mitosis and meiosis is doubling the DNA, splitting it once for mitosis, splitting it twice for meiosis. Now there's one more kind of key consideration that's really cool about meiosis is in this step where the chromosomes kind of have to line up before they split, there is a time where something called synapsis and crossing over occurs. So this is when the DNA, the chromosomes kind of line up and they're so close and they kind of start to swap parts, if you want to say it that way. So that's synapsis and crossing over. So if you look, do you see how this blue one now has a little red piece and now the red one has a little blue piece? They've crossed the tips a little bit. So now these chromosomes are different than the original. You've gotten just a little bit of genetic swapping. So that is how sperm and egg, if you get your genes from your mom, you know, maybe you have, everybody says, oh, you look just like your mom, but you have your dad's eyes. Or you look just like your dad, except your eyes are a little bit bluer than your dad's. It's that synapsis. This is putting that little bit of variability. I can't spell variability today. Variability. So this is how you get a little bit of variability. So every sperm's not the same. Every egg's not the same. So that when any mom and dad, if you were mom and dad had 1 to 10 children, all 10 children should not look the same because of this genetic variability. This synapsis and crossing over means every sperm and every egg is a little bit different from every other sperm and egg. That does not happen in mitosis. They are genetically identical to the parent cell. Okay, so with meiosis, you get 4 daughter cells for every 1 mother cell. It's a little bit different with half the amount of DNA. And that is mitosis and meiosis in a nutshell. Okay, that's really all you got to know. Thanks a lot.